All right, the next thing we're going to style is our slideshow. And obviously the slideshow is not going to go yet. It's just going to be the size we want it to be. And the reason for that is we haven't started doing the JavaScript yet. So we'll get to that later. But our page is going to start looking nice now. Right now it looks kind of horrible. I mean, our menu bar is pretty good, but the pictures are just all over the place. They're too big, and we're going to make it all look nice now. All right, so we're going to go down here, and I'm going to paste this in. I just put in a comment here that, for me, later on, I know this is starting my slideshow. I'm done with the menu, and I'm going on to something new. And it's not that long, really. If you look in our HTML, we have this, we've come out of the banner. So the banner ended here. Now we're going to be in what's called the wrapper, and it wraps everything down to the footer. And then inside of that we have a slideshow. And inside the slideshow we have all these divs with images in them. Alright, so we'll go back to our style sheet. We're going to go to the ID of slideshow and give it a margin of 20 pixels on the top and the bottom. And then in auto, it's going to be the same amount of margin on either side. It's going to divide that out. And then our position is going to be relative. Now, a lot of times, well, obviously, where were they? I can't remember what all of them are. I think we looked them up. Yes, right here. Here's all of our values for position. Static is the default value. And then absolute means that once I position it on the screen, it's going to stay in that position. I mean, it'll scroll with the screen, but it'll stay in that position. Fixed means that the element is positioned relative to its browser window. In other words, it will stay there. In other words, if I say I took this more examples and I made it fixed, when I scrolled, the whole screen would scroll up and down, but more examples would stay put on your screen. Now, relative, the element is positioned relative to its normal position. So left 20 pixels adds 20 pixels to the element's left position. And you say, what in the world does that mean? Really what it means is, if you look here, there's a term called parent in code. The parent of this div is the wrapper div. So when I say relative, it's going to be relative to the wrapper. So if I come in later and give the wrapper a margin on the right of 10 pixels, it's also going to move over the slideshow 10 pixels. So it gets confusing. A lot of times with the position, I'll try different. I'll go through the list. I'll try them and see which one works the best for me. And relative seemed to work the best in this case. So we put it to relative. We have a width of 90% of the screen, so it's always going to be smaller than the screen. Height of 400 pixels. The height does not change. It stays the same. And then a padding of 0. I don't want any space between the edge of the div and where the image starts. I want the image to fill the entire div. Now, slideshow div. Okay, position is going to be absolute. Inside of the div is going to be absolute. In the div inside the slideshow is going to be absolute. And I'm going to have the width of it 100%. Now we're going to go into this slideshow image class. And you see that each one of these images has a class of slideshow image. And that just occurred to me. You have not been seeing everything here. Word wrap. I apologize. Hopefully that didn't mess you up anywhere. I'll go back here with the wrap. Wow, that's quite a few videos. So we're gonna go up here to menu background, and think down at menu is where you need it. I'll just leave it here for a second, and you can pause it and copy code if you need to. Nav menu. It's another one where all that code was somewhat hidden. There's your nav. And then there's the slideshow. Okay, here's our slideshow. And position again is relative. Width of it's 100%. Height is 380 pixels. Now, I played around with all these numbers a lot, and it seems to work great with these numbers. Padding is 0. And then I just grabbed this. This is the same box shadow as previously. Same one. So you can just grab that. And that's all there is to the slideshow at the face value of it. So I've already saved. Let's go ahead and refresh. And if you look, it will stay the same height, but it will get wider, which kind of stretches an image out, but really it's okay. And then we get a little bit smaller. I guess it would depend on the type of it. If you had people standing in here, he'd be real fat, and then he'd be real skinny. We'd have to think about how to change that. But right now we're going to leave it like it is. And that's it for the slideshow. And what's happened is all those images are stacked on top of each other, like layered. And you're seeing the bottom one. If you go here, the first one is there, and then the second one's on top of it. The third one, and then you're seeing the fourth image on top. What we'll do with the JavaScript is we'll cycle through. We'll make 3 of the images hidden and 1 of the images visible, and then we'll fade into the next one, and then fade into the next one, and it will look really sharp. And you can do different ways. You can have it scroll across into the next one, scroll across. You can have it, well, whatever. You can do the different transitions, but I just used the fade. Next, we'll do this info div, and it's going to slide out. And that takes a little more time, so I'm going to save that for the next video.